Hi, I'm Derek Darling. This is Sean Doherty, and welcome to our new show, What If Drills.
Okay, so the what if drill it comes up because when you're in normal class and you have to have structure and it's more mechanistic and you have to stay within timelines and rigidity, you really don't have time to ask, hey coach, what if? Because I know John Saylor, he would probably kick me in the groin and then slap me in the head and say, if my aunt had a mustache, she'd be my uncle. But I think he used a different body part that would describe it. However, this is our opportunity to ask all those annoying questions and get our answers every one. But we have to come up with it ourselves and
work through a few things, so to speak.
And it sparks creativity. This is like entrepreneurs will do this. It's brainstorming is what it is. It's mind mapping and brainstorming of submission holds and scenarios. So it's not just doing worst case scenario, it's doing worst case scenario and what am I going to do there? You don't even know what you're going to do yet, and you're just in a discovery mode. It's literally like going in the forest, lifting up every rock, trying to find every critter that you can find.
And likewise, it could also be well, I really like this position. How do I get there? There's a reverse engineering aspect to it. Backcasting is something that Sean also refers to it as. So you get there and you're like, I know I want to be here. I know I do well from this position. What are ways I can get in there? What are things that I can do to make this position better for me, to make it more efficient?
Exactly. So yeah, so we can, not only is it for discovering new things, but it's also a good tool for sharpening what you already have. Because what you're doing is you're opening up different doors of finding how can I block, like can this be blocked? What ways are how many different ways can be escaped out of this, and what ways do I have to look out for? And then from that point, you can't help but find another submission out of it, even just from trying to drill the one you're doing. It's really hard not to come up with something new when you're doing these drills, or at least hone the skills you already have to a higher degree of sharpness. Okay, what we're going to show now is a toe hook that I call a toe throttle, because it's a little different than a hook, because I'm not really bending the toe around like a flag waving around the pole. It's actually getting rotated instead, and then kind of tweaked out. But where I'm going to get this from is from north and south position. One day when I was coaching in New Jersey, we have what's called Saturday Beat Lab sessions. Again, taken from Step Brothers, where we go to the beat lab, we lay down some tracks, we do some layers, we just go and discover, and we go create and have sessions. So without further ado, I'll show you what our beat lab came up with. And then today's session brought up another idea of another variation of a compression lock from this. So I'll go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. North and south position. I have been here so many times, and I've seen this foot, or I've seen this foot over here, and it's so close to me. I'm like, why don't I do something about it? So far hand reaches first, which you can grab in here. I'm going to come here, and I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to dive my shoulder into the hip. So now I'm going to be pinning the hips instead of pinning the upper torso with my hips on his cheekbones. I'm now going to commit and bury into his hip with my shoulder. And I'm going to lace my arms through just like a regular figure four. But what I'm going to do is pull this in. Now, you see what I'm doing here? I'm rotating the foot this way, and I'm going to pin it right there. And as I drop my shoulder into the hip, it creates the submission. So I'm actually using the ground as one of my points of contact to get the submission. And all I'm doing is making sure that pressure goes down. And as I throttle the foot just right, this is creating just like you would roll your ankle while you're running or playing basketball. It's the same aversion roll. Is it inversion or aversion or eversion? Inversion, yeah, inverted, that way. So we can pin it down. And then from here, I wondered, well, I can get the submission from here. That's a pretty good submission. I wonder if I can make it worse. So I decided to use a dynamic movement and just pop up and drop. Did you hear him lose some of his air?
That was fun.
I literally dropped on his abdomen. And I can keep this for the submission. I have the whole foot like this. I'm throttling it this way, and then I'm bringing it up. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling it up, and I'm using this, my chest as the block, and I'm pulling in, just like this. Now, while we were doing these sessions, actually, while I was doing an interview, while we were talking, I had this going on in my mind from this submission, so I was in 2 places at once, but I'm glad I was, because this is actually pretty cool to watch. So I'm going to turn this into a compression lock by simply keeping my fist and my wrist hiked up high in here. I'm going to put this foot here, just like this. Now, I'm kind of off in an angle here. I'm not facing this way, I'm off in an angle, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of roll to my shoulder, and this foot's going to hook behind this foot, right? And then this foot goes under the belly. Here. Now, Derek, can you get a heel hook from there? Nope.
Not really. I might be able to get a toe hold, but
Try.
no, his toes are pretty. You have to really flex your foot and keep your toes up.
And if I don't, right there.
Yep.
Okay, so I need to flex it, but this is going to be fast. I should be able to
Plus
get
his
this.
foot's flat now. As soon as
Yeah.
he keeps his.
There we go. So that's what we want. Okay, so we just learned. Guys, we just learned. Look, if I'm this way, that heel's exposed, he can turn it. And he can get the toe, to get the toe hook. Right there. Now I'm in danger. Okay, even if I come up into here and I start getting my own and I start working this harder, I think he can get that pretty quick. Derek knows what he's doing. Okay? But as soon as I get into my back,
Now.
put my foot to the ground, now what I'm actually doing, I'm lifting my butt off the ground and putting more weight onto that foot right there. Okay, and then I'm going to take this leg, I'm going to do like a leg extension. There.
So moral of the story, put your foot on the floor.
There we go. So, north, I'll go on this side this time. North and south, get the submission here, roll it up, here. Rotate it. Back here. Gosh dang, it's tight.
One step. One more time through.
Which leg?
Either one's fine.
Why don't you start again a second, guys? We'll be to the sun. Can you start from the other direction there? Yeah, just, there you go, there you go.
Here. Here. Slip, slide up. This is important. I made the mistake on the last one. You want to slide this up, tuck back down, roll this side, put your foot to the ground.
Getting the arm all the way up in the back of the knee not only helps finish, but it also forces me to roll. It keeps that leg locked in tight to his chest so that when he rolls, I roll over with him.
Okay, now guys, what we found in teaching, and those of you who are coaches might want to keep this in mind, when we have a concept like that, if we give it a name, people remember it and they can identify with that name. So, and it legitimizes what we've just done too. We give it a name. What would you call that, Sean? We want to give it a name. Yeah, that's why when you have a what if session like that, you say, well, what do we name this thing? You know, so. And you know, and give us something descriptive, and maybe we won't come up with a name with it right now.
Well,
but
I like, you know what, that one, when I jump up from here to here, it reminds me of a deadlift almost. We can call that a deadlift, toe hook kind of thing.
Sure.
Let's see what's going on. We got deadlift, toe hook, and then the compression. How does it feel? What does it feel like as you go through it?
Pretty nasty. I mean, it looks kind of like, it feels like you're being put into a Boston crab almost.
Right.
yeah, because there is low back pressure there for sure. Yeah.
But it's more in the knee.
Well, it was born here, so how about the Kansas crab?
We'll come up with a name with it eventually, but right now, guys, I think the point is well taken, these what-if sessions, that the name is usually has to fit the movement, and it always comes up last, and sometimes not a very good name. We try to get as descriptive as we can, but the big thing is having a good skilled movement line. Okay, great. Thanks a lot, guys.
Hi, once again, I'm Derek Darling, and this is
Sean Doherty.
and you've been watching our series, What If Drills. Thanks again for watching. Check back soon.